Common Core, I don't know if people are aware of Common Core, but that's the new education system that's being adopted across the country. So in Common Core, I went to the meeting with the school, and the principal was explaining what the school's version of Common Core is. So they're all proud that they're going to be able to track everything your child does. They're going to see the progress that they're making in class. And this principal bragged that she has an entire wall of room that has all these statistics about each child in that room. So if you want to go see it, you can see it, but you can't see the details on each child, the names of the child. So now they can track exactly how your child is doing in school. They also collect other information by asking the children questions which the children would not understand. You know, we need a story about your family so we can understand your family. Who do you live with? These kinds of things. So they start asking them these, what seems to be normal questions to their child, but they collect this data. Now, if a child isn't being successful in school, and they see them falling behind, under Obamacare, it says that if a child isn't making progress in school or is falling behind, they have a right to come out and do a home visit under the Obamacare laws. Now you end up with the state coming out to check out your home because your child's falling behind in school, and how easy is it for them at that point to get CPS involved and remove your child.
And which part of the Constitution would you say that violates?
There's nothing constitutional about any of that.
Thank
they first
you.
shouldn't be collecting information like that from the school system.
Especially from a child.
Especially from a child.
Well, it's in the Communistic Manifesto to have government take over
right.
all schools.
But you
Obamacare, we already know we don't believe in Obamacare and what they're collecting on that. What right do they have under a medical policy even to say, I have a right to come out without your consent to do a home visit?
So now let's just talk just very briefly about this idea of expanding into Obamacare. If Obamacare was such a great idea, why is it that the people who authored Obamacare are calling it publicly a train wreck? Why is it, if Obamacare is such a great idea, that the people who have the most political influence with the people who wrote Obamacare, the people closest to Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi, why are they the ones who are obtaining waivers so that they can become exempted from Obamacare? Let's take health care off of the table completely. Let's call this the chocolate frosting on chocolate cake bill. Okay? Why is it that if this is such a delicious recipe, that the people who manufactured the frosting are ones who are suing for the right to not be forced to eat the cake? Doesn't that tell you something? Yes. It tells me something. It tells me that anything that this federal government does is going to be ruined, going to be ruined, going to be ruined.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Yeah, I got it.
Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, it's Paul. Would you mind if I come in? I want to deliver something for Joe.
One moment.
Thank you. I don't know what happened to that, but there was no response, and I would like to know.
Okay, when you say you left a message, with who?
Well, when we came up here, we spoke to another gentleman, and he said he would, if Sheriff Joe couldn't meet with us, he would pass this on, I guess, Mr. Zullo, I don't know his title, and I haven't heard back from him. So I would like to have an appointment made with either Sheriff Joe, if not him, then at least Mr. Zullo, but we do want to meet with one of his office staff members.
Okay. Can you tell me what it's regarding? Or?
Yes, regarding the same letter I gave him. It's nothing different. I already gave him the material. It has to do with a CPS case of kidnapping, abuse, and attempted suicide due to routine sexual misconduct and rape by the staff members on children that they have in their custody. And we've delivered this to him, and we need a response. And so we're giving him all the information. We have the license plate numbers of the perpetrators, the phone numbers, the addresses of the children, the police reports that have been ignored. And now the kid is down to wanting to commit suicide. A kid who looked perfectly normal the day before he was picked up, and who is now at risk.
Work that we generated? You said
This was,
police reports?
yeah, well, see, I came about 2 weeks ago and I left a letter requesting a meeting, and that letter might have been about maybe 3 or 4 pages long. And then I have since written this one up, and this one has more detailed information and the same request to meet with him. How are you?
Hi, I'm Deputy Enriquez. I'm the Public Information Officer.
All right, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
So you work with Sheriff Joe also?
I do.
Good, good. Well, where's Mike Zulo?
Mike's not here on this floor right now. That's
Yeah.
why we're trying to deal with it
Okay.
and see what you need.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. If this boy commits suicide in the process, it will be a collective group of people who are at fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just go and speak to my supervisor.
Okay.
And figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay.
All right. Can I ask you just a kind of off-topic subject?
Sure.
How come you're recording?
Well, I just want a record of this. This is very important. We have kids dying over this and people not being responsive.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Just give me a second. I'll be right back.
All
Okay.
right, thank you so much.
Tell the audience the things that you told your attorney were going on with your sons and the advice he gave you as you walked into court.
Being raped, put on illegal medicines. They're being made to be quiet. They're being restrained from their visits, saying they can't see their mother, and they're being lied to, saying that the mother doesn't love them. I was told if I was to speak about anything, that it's going to be hard for you to get your children back.
What are they doing to your children sexually?
They're making them give them oral sex, and they're also molesting them. Who's now 6, his caretaker, which he's been coming to numerous visits with his head's been beaten, got knots on the back of his head, numerous sores in his head, and I have pictures to also show that his head was perfectly clear when I was with him, and it was cut bald. She ties him up, put hot sauce on his food, and makes him not be able to accept anything that I bring to him. He's scared to say anything out about it, but when he does get a little bold to speak out about it, he states and says that she's pinched my penis, and I've also noticed that he's been afraid a lot. When it comes to speaking about house parents, he can't take any food home, and he comes to the visits very hungry. A secretary that's at Aviva, she's also stated that the child is looked very spaced out. And when I see him, I ask, what's wrong? What's wrong? Why is he looking like this? And come to find out, he stated, Mom, they're giving me some pills now.
Did you tell the attorney about the fact that they won't let your sons wear underwear?
And yes, I've told him about that.
Okay.
Nothing's to no avail. All I was told is you better be quiet because the government has a lot of power. The government has a lot of power, and I said God has all the power.
Okay, so what did the attorney, now you told him that your children are being molested, they have herpes sores around their mouths, you told them that your 2 older sons pushed off one man that had his private part on the little 6-year-old's buttocks.
Yes.
You told him all of that. Now tell everybody, what did Attorney Curtis say as you were walking into court about what you wanted to share with the judge?
I wanted to share with the judge that my children was going through this, and I was told if you don't be careful, they can keep your children.
Did he want you to tell them what happened to your children? Did he
No,
want you?
he told me not to say anything about that. He just when I was speaking about it, it was just totally absurd. I wasn't allowed to speak or nothing about it, and I was also told by my judge, if I'm trying to do that to get my children back, I won't.
Did he allow you to say any of what you just told us?
No, he did not. And he would not submit it to the courts.
All right, Joe Arpaio, you heard that.
Thank you for calling the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. To quickly route your call to the correct department, please select from the following options or visit our website at www.mcso.org. Please hold. Good afternoon, Sheriff's Office. How may I help you?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. This is Paula Flo. I wanted to speak to either Angie or Lacey.
And your name is Paula Flo?
Yes.
Okay, I'm actually not available. Can I take a message on your behalf?
Oh, neither one is available?
No, actually. May I take a message on your behalf?
Yes, you may. Again, my name is Paula Flo, F as in Frank, L-O-W-E.
Okay.
And I handed an envelope to Lacey last week. And what is today's date?
Did you bring it in hand carry?
I hand carried it. And what is today's date? Today is Friday the what?
The 15th.
Today the 15th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excuse me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so what time is it?
It's a 3:45. Almost a 3:45.
Okay, and you agree it's November 15th?
Do I agree if it's November 15th?
I'm just checking the date.
Yes, ma'am. Today is November 15th.
Okay. I'm wanting to leave a message for Sheriff Joe, and I want you to know that I am recording this, and I want to let him know we dropped off a letter last week, and we're waiting for a response. The letter is for having a meeting regarding a family where one of the children is being viciously abused, and we've gone to several police officers, and we really don't know who else to turn to, so we've gone to Sheriff Joe. I've delivered him a letter to him with the addresses, the license plates, the phone numbers, the authority figures of the people who are harming this particular boy, although there are 3 siblings, but one of them in particular has already been abused to the point where the person abusing him was arrested and placed in jail, but the boy is still in very unsafe conditions. And we would like Sheriff Joe to respond by having a meeting with us so we could give him the full story. We had CBS, KPHO, News 5 already interview us, and they have been unresponsive. They took the message, they gave us a lengthy interview at the Arizona State Capitol building on their grounds there, and we even handed an 18-page document to them, and we gave the document we handed to CBS, we gave to Sheriff Joe. We gave them a copy of the original. They haven't been responded, and nor has Sheriff Joe, and I'm requesting that you please tell him this is urgent, and we would love to have a meeting last week. The letter I gave him last week was a request for him to call this week, and this whole week has gone by. It's Friday. It's almost, I forgot what time you said. It's after 3, and we haven't heard from him, and we're requesting that you please.
Okay, ma'am. Is there a contact number that you can be reached at?
408 509
509. Okay, I can definitely pass along this message.
I really appreciate it. May I know your name? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
May I know your name?
No, I'm not going to give out my name, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm recording the call.
Okay, well, thank you.
I'm happy to pass along your message.
I appreciate it. You have a good weekend.
Thank you very much for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love and his brothers have been kidnapped by Arizona CPS. What you are viewing is a letter written by Love in an attempt to be rescued from harmful conditions which to date he is still facing. Hi, I'm Paula Flo, Executive Director of the Hitting Stops Here and Coordinator of Arizona Operation Let My People Go, also known as AZ-OP. Love Duran Speed and his brothers Emmanuel and Romeo were relocated to the state of Arizona from Arkansas with their loving mother, Miss Taquita Riley, because, as Mom reports, she was unable to stop their Arkansas school teachers from striking them with wooden boards, one of the remaining 19 U.S. states where this harmful practice remains legal. Little did Miss Riley know that she was moving into the nation's capital state for legalized kidnapping by Child Protective Services. On November 26, 2012, CPS trumped up false allegations against Miss Riley and removed her 3 sons from their home in violation of numerous protective rights and amendments of the U.S. Constitution. What you are viewing is a letter written by Love Duran Speed, an American boy taken from his American dream home, a place where he had the God-given right to be raised by his mother. Current activism of AZ-OP involves restoring Love, Emmanuel, and Romeo back home with their mother and supporting other CPS family breakup victims as well gain family restoration.
me, man, have you been infected by CPS, Child Protective Services, family breakup?
Yes, I have.
In what way?
I found CPS didn't even contact me when they first took my grandson into custody. The only way I found out about him through word of mouth. I had to contact CPS myself to find out about my grandchild. When I found out about him, CPS took me through some things to try to attain my grandchild. When I did attain him, I only had him for 2 months. They found a way to take my grandchild. They trumped up charges on me. They told me it was child endangerment. Nobody never called the police. Nobody never charged me with anything. But still, they took my grandchild from me. If it was child endangerment, why wasn't I prosecuted? Why wasn't the police called? But nobody prosecuted me. They didn't even want me to get into court. But by the grace of God, he gave me somebody to get into court. The justice system has failed me. I do not believe in the judicial system anymore because I have tried the appeal court. I even took it to the Supreme Court. Nobody wants to listen, but people need to understand they will take your children just like they took mine. It is not a game. You need to understand they are giving our children away for a profit. These people who have your children make money monthly off of these kids. They are not giving parents anything. They pay these people to take care of our children. I can take care of my grandchild. They should not be able to lie on people just because they are CPS. And what they did to me was wrong, and they know they was wrong. Christian Sheriff and her supervisor, Jane Burns, told me that I would never get my grandchild back. They had already had somebody to adopt him the day they took him from me. They had already had the process beginning. They knew they was going to take my grandchild, and they did.
Did you ever almost have your child back in your hands, even for a moment?
No, they will not. They never let me visit him anymore. I do not know what he's doing. How is he? Does he cry in the morning time? What food does he like? He is now will be 3 years old. He was 9 months old when I got him. The lady told me I was too persistent on getting my grandchild. It was overbearing that I had no right to call whoever and whyever, but that is my grandchild. That is blood of my blood, seed of my seed. I can take care of my grandchild. He don't need nobody else. If I had endangered him, that is a crime. Why did I get prosecuted? Why wasn't a police call? They said I was doing a criminal offense. If it was criminal, why didn't they take me to jail? Why didn't they prosecute me? Because they had no case. But they had the judge behind them. I had nobody but me. And I'm standing here like I told them, I will wrestle with the devil in hell to get my grandson back. But I know I am strong in the Lord. Isaiah, Grandma is right here. Your Nana ain't giving up. I want you to know, Isaiah, your Nana is not giving up on you.
Concerned citizens can take effective action for having U.S. citizens under 18 protected by the Constitution when under authority of U.S. government-funded employees. AZOP invites individuals and groups to examine the displayed material on the screen to learn more and how to help. The web link for viewing this material may be accessed by going to thehittingstopshere.com and clicking on the View Message Board link in the left column. See Sheriff Joe Arpaio Knows. AZOP was in the news in August when 4 members, myself included, accompanied a mother when she rescued her son from long-term abuse and sexual exploitation while under Arizona CPS custody. An update regarding our case is on page 3 of this document. November 7, 2013 was a significant date in Arizona. AZOP delivered a letter to Sheriff Joe requesting a meeting regarding widespread and rampant CPS legalized kidnapping and to discuss, in particular, the 3 boys belonging to Miss Takeda Riley, who have been facing physical and sexual assault at the hands of Arizona CPS authorities, one of whom has tried to commit suicide. He turned 12 this year. Included in the document is current legislation for banning Arizona school teachers from striking school children with wooden boards. Yes, Arizona is one of the 19 U.S. states where this practice remains legal. When banned in Arizona, the domino effect for banning this practice in the other 18 remaining states and territories will be set off for protecting school children from this harm. Arizona Senate Bill 1361, entitled School Corporal Punishment Prohibition, is legislation for banning this form of punishment. This bill was introduced February 4th, 2013. Learn about Common Core and the negative effects it will have on school and society if this form of education is mandated. Listen to a message on the 501c3 amendment, a great contributor to widespread apathy in the nation. Who's in the Oval Office? Is Obama a legitimate president? If not, Sheriff Joe knows what to do to have him removed. Sheriff Joe is the most powerful constable in the nation. He is qualified for taking appropriate action regarding any misdeeds of government officials. There are a number of ways to help have American children and teens protected by the U.S. Constitution. 7 ways are listed. A list of valuable resources follows. The flyer below is useful information for handing out in every state and territory. This document ends with a scripture and acknowledgement of the power that God has to bless America. Let us unify in giving Him reason to do so. Citizens under 18 in this nation are counting on the adults surrounding them, taking responsible action. Thank you.
It ruined my life, and I'm just tired of CPS. So we need your support, people. You that watching, you viewers that's watching this, we want our children back. 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 We want our children back!